All right, everybody, I've got another Matterport video for you. I know. This is my fourth video on Matterport, and I just published an article about them on the Motley Fool. However, I promise you, this is not some kind of pump for Matterport stock, unlike some other YouTubers out there. Meet Kevin. Anyway, since the company went public earlier this year, they've signed strategic alliances with Facebook, they've partnered with Amazon Web Services, and just last week, they announced that they hired a head of corporate development. And that's what this video is going to be about. Now, in case you don't know, a lot of times large public companies will have corporate development teams. And these teams focus on strategic initiatives like alliances, partnerships, investments, or mergers and acquisitions. Now, when it comes to Matterport, they hired a former executive from Google to lead the corporate development practice. I find this extremely interesting because when Matterport was going public through the SPAC process and I was doing my due diligence on it, I was reading rumors online of people speculating that the company itself would eventually be acquired by Facebook or Google. Now, I think this is a big flex for Matterport, hiring a VP of corporate development. We got to remember the company's only doing roughly about $100 million in revenue. They're really not that big yet. But in a way, this is their way of kind of signaling to the public that they want to be the de facto leader in digitizing and indexing the built world. And taking that a step further, I also think this is their way of saying they want to be involved and be a core component of the metaverse. The metaverse will not just be powered and controlled by the large technology behemoths like NVIDIA, Snapchat, Microsoft, Facebook, among others. Now, I need to make some comments about their financials. Matterport reported Q3 earnings about a month ago, and we saw that they ended the quarter with $150 million of cash on the balance sheet. Now, the company is still losing money, and so as long as they remain unprofitable, that cash balance is going to go down. However, they've made significant investments on the software side of the business. You see, Matterport historically was reliant on hardware, which typically carries a lower margin and could be argued more expensive because it takes longer to build these things and then they don't carry as high as a margin. So your sort of time to break even takes longer. As the company shifts its revenue mix to more of a software subscription-based model, their margins theoretically should expand, and that should drop right down to the bottom line and lead to higher cash flow. It's this cash flow that Matterport will be able to use for investments and M&A. Now, I don't want to get carried away here. I have a feeling that as far as investments goes, they will probably be pretty small. Let's say $500K to a couple $1 million. And when it comes to M&A, this is just my speculation, but I think that Matterport will be doing more what's called Aqua hires. In other words, identifying cool pieces of technology that they can wrap and tuck into their own suite of services, but they're only going to be a couple $1 million a piece, and really they're just acquiring talent. In other words, very talented engineers, smart researchers, and interesting pieces of intellectual property. But in a way, this actually makes me even more excited because we're not even really going to know what the company is up to unless you listen to the earnings calls or really dig into the filings. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe they're going to make a splash and make a huge acquisition, but I view it as unlikely. In order for Matterport to do anything sort of front page of the Wall Street Journal worthy, they'd almost certainly have to issue stock, which I don't think they're going to do, and I certainly wouldn't want to see them do. Nonetheless, I am very excited by this hire. Hiring a VP of corporate development for a company of this size is very, very interesting to me. We typically see corporate development teams at Salesforce, Microsoft. DocuSign recently came out and said that they have their own venture arm. For Matterport, they're still a very small company, about $100 million in revenue. The stock has seen very much a pullback as valuations kind of get normalized across the market. But anyway, please let me know what you think about Matterport and this head of corporate development in general. I do read the comments and I try to reply to them all. And if you could like this video or share this video, it would really help me out with the channel. And if you would consider subscribing, I would really appreciate it. That's all for today, and thanks for watching.